Alright everyone, it looks like we have even more spoilers for Kaldheim. We're going to continue to the 12th, but first I want to catch up on some things I missed from yesterday. Starting it off here with Axgard Cavalry on the left. 2-mana red creature, Dwarf Berserker. Taps, target creature gains haste until end of turn, so pretty simple ability. We've seen that before several times. Wither Crown, 2-mana black, common, aura enchantment. Enchant creature has base power 0 and has, at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life unless you sacrifice this creature. So that's a pretty useful tool and limited. I don't know if that's going to be anything special though. Herald, King of Skemfar, a 3-mana legendary elf warrior, an uncommon 3/2 with menace. When Herald, King of Skemfar, enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an Elf Warrior or Tyvar card. Don't know what a Tyvar card is from among them, and then put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, so I don't know what a Tyvar is. Is that a secret that we have yet to uncover? But it does look like we're continuing this trend of black-green elves. That's always something, if you're new to Magic, you have to pay attention to that, because where you see a theme in one set, you can expect to see it in following sets, and we started to see this in Commander Legends, so it's nice to see that we're getting more black-green elves. And we have Herald, Unites the Elves, a 4-mana black-green saga enchantment. The first lore counter mills 3 cards. You may put an elf or Tyvar card from your graveyard onto the battlefield. And the second one, you put a +1/+1 counter on each elf you control. And the third one, whenever an elf you control attacks this turn, target creature and opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So that can be useful for removal, but other than that, nothing really special to me. And we get another one of these gods, but the way that they have it stacked here is that the flip side is down here on the left. But we'll go over Egon, God of Death. This looks really cool. 3-mana, 6/6 legendary god with Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you can't, sacrifice Egon and draw a card. And he flips into Throne of Death, 1 black mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill a card, and you can pay 3 mana and tap it to exile a creature card from your graveyard to draw a card. So that's fantastic. If this works the way I'm thinking it works in Commander, you have a good setup option here. I imagine you're still going to have to pay 2 extra Commander tax if you decide to play either side, but who knows? I mean, this is pretty weird. I'm not the master of rules, so I guess we'll just have to wait. We have Feed the Serpent, 4-mana instant in black, exile target creature or planeswalker. Are you kidding me? Isn't this something that should be a rare? Like, isn't this literally just Vraska's Contempt? I guess they thought it wasn't good enough to be rare anymore. Get a couple more commons. I'm not going to do the white one. I'm not spending all this time translating cards. We have Elderfang Disciple, 2-mana black elf cleric. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. That's very abusable, by the way. You see a lot of these creatures, and immediately you should know it's for Sheree, Shizo's Caretaker. If it has a good ETB or a good death trigger, just know that's where it's going. And then moving on for the 12th, we have some more cards. We get Code Spell Cleric, 1-mana human cleric with vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, if it was the second spell you cast this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Not a big fan of this. Like these abilities that you have to cast your second spell. That's rather boring to me. It's not interesting at all. Mammoth Growth. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn, but it's Foretell, so you can prepare for that differently. We get Burning Rune Demon, kind of hard to read because of the glare on that picture, but a 6-mana 6/6, pretty cool looking Demon Berserker with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning Rune Demon that have different names. If you do reveal those cards, an opponent chooses one of them, puts the chosen card into your hand and the other into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. That's pretty good. Whether you're an Entomb deck or you're a Demonic Tutor kind of deck, that's going to be useful, especially if you're a combo deck. Very, very good ETB, very easy to take advantage of these kinds of creatures, and if you liked Runescar Demon, which this is clearly a reference to, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to play this. Get another red card in German. We get Run Amok, 2-mana, target attacking creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. We've seen this card a million times. Crush the Weak, 3-mana red sorcery, it deals 2 damage to each creature. If a creature dealt damage this turn would die. This turn, exile it instead. Has Foretell. You're seeing a lot of these power levels just go down. And then we have Starnheim Unleashed. So 4 mana, mythic white sorcery. Create a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. If this spell was foretold, create X of those tokens instead. So it's kind of like the miracle card. I forget what it's called, but if you get the miracle cost, you get to do something different, or it just changes the cost. I don't know. There's 1,000 of these white sorceries where you get angels, and they all pretty much do the same thing, but in a slightly different way. And the Foretell cost is 1 white and 2X. And then we get a uncommon red instant, 2 mana dual strike. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less this turn, copy that spell, you get to choose new targets, and Foretell of 1 red. So these Foretell cards, it's kind of like Suspend, but you have control over when you foretell. So in a way, it's actually better than Suspend if you needed that kind of control, but without a doubt, you're going to be spending more mana to do these things. Alright, and as I refreshed, we have a couple more cards here. We have Frostpire Arcanist, 5 mana blue giant wizard. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a giant or a wizard. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an instant or sorcery card with the same name as a card in your graveyard, reveal it, and then put it into your hand and shuffle your library, so it's useless to us. Basalt Ravager, 4 mana, giant wizard, 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. So you're going to see a lot of this tribal support too, and I love tribal support. As long as it's not awfully specific to the set it's in, I'm on board. This looks like it's going to be pretty flexible. And if it's giant support, if it's wizard support, which is kind of weird, it doesn't look like it should be a wizard, expect it to be pretty solid. So anyway guys, that's going to do it for today's spoilers. We will probably have even more tomorrow, and then till the end of the week, I'm guessing. Looking like a pretty solid set. I'm definitely excited for it. But as always, Void here signing off. See you all next time.